Here are some of the issues that you're going to run into on Facebook Marketplace. A horror story for you about purchasing vehicles, whether you're going to be flipping them or buying them. Stick around. This has got all the problems. Hi, I'm Clint Allen, the Flipper Guy, warning you, showing you all the scams, all the problems on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and how to flip vehicles from A to Z. So if you're new here, this is what we do. And we've got videos of hands-on, we've got quick stories, and we've got other videos filtered throughout the month so you don't have the same boring thing over and over. All right, so let's get moving on this deal right here. This popped up on Facebook Marketplace a while back, and it was a hilarious ad to begin with. So what was so funny about it? It was listed for $4,000 and it wasn't running. And this is what it looked like. On the ad, it was filled with just a whole host of bullshit. It said that the fuel pump was out. Well, if you know anything about Ford F-150s, the fuel pump very rarely actually goes out on it. And the reason why is because they're not running full time all the time. They're ran off of a little modulator box that the computer sends a signal to that says it to turn on, turn off, or modulate the amount of volume that that pump is going to put out. Anybody that knows Fords in this 2004 through 2010 area knows that those things are filled with issues. So he has in the ad, needs a fuel pump. It's ready for paint. Somebody literally took a grinder with a flapper wheel and ground down everything on the vehicle, and then they put some surfacing primer on it, but it's ready for paint. It also had said that it was rust-proofed. I don't know where. I guess it's your definition of what rust-proofing is. He had posted in that Facebook ad a picture of the engine running. Okay, so it needs a fuel pump and it's not running. It has to be towed away. That's what he has in, or bring a trailer. That's what he has in the ad. But he mystically has a video showing the engine running. Well, ding, 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 there's a problem here. If you take a close look at the video, it isn't the same engine that's in this truck. This is the stuff you need. These are the little remote things that you need to catch when you're buying a vehicle from a private party, okay? It's the little details. I've mentioned that before. Pull up a picture of the engine, make sure that everything is there. And in this particular case, the picture was of a 4.6, and this has a 5.4 in it. Rip off, ding, 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 ding. So as I've mentioned before, I buy these all the time, and I've got a ton of parts for them. So even if it was completely junk, I've got tons of parts that I can pull off of it. He dropped the price down to $1,200, and it's set for a month and a half. And I finally contacted him like I normally do, and I had said, you know, this is who I am, this is what I do, and I'll give you $600. I'll come out there and tow it away. I need the keys and a clean title. Give me the VIN number so I can check. And he sent the VIN number. I was able to check. It had a clear title. Didn't have any other liens throughout the United States. So we're good to go. Then I went out there. I grabbed it. $600, you know. That's the same thing as approximate salvage price in our area if I was to take the whole thing in for salvage, but brought it on back. And for you, this is something that you would want to do before you put down the money. Make sure that you have some way of, scanning the vehicle. Even if it doesn't run, you'll be able to pull the information off the computer, and you'll be able to tell all the codes of what's in the vehicle, and even a basic OBS2 scanner is going to do the job on it. I bring a full mechanics scanner out there, and I scan the whole thing, and and for $600 I just towed it back here. So when I pulled the codes, I had 43 codes. Everything from lost communication, canned communication, wiring issues, all the lights in the back were out, all the backup Dopplers were out on it. I mean, go on and on and on, and I don't think you really care about that. But one of the things that I always tell you is pull a report, like a Carfax. There's a ton of them out there. You don't have to get a Carfax. Just get the cheapest one out there. On this vehicle here, you'll never guess how many owners there were in the last 9 months. 4. So this thing's got some problems that nobody can figure out. I can. But this comes with years of experience, okay? And don't be afraid of that. There's YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble is filled with guys that make videos. They're not done very well, but they'll show you how to repair any problem that you can find on a vehicle. It's there for the taking for free. Here's the tip. If you run into an ad on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, or any of these other outside sources where private people are selling their vehicles, and it shows in there that, oh, well, it just needs a fuel pump. Okay, just stop. If that thing just needed a fuel pump, do you think not that they would have went through and replaced the fuel pump and tried to get $4,000 for this? Once again, ding, 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 ding. There's a problem. If you're looking at this and viewing this for the entertainment value, you tell that individual, you fix the fuel pump. When you're done fixing the fuel pump, I will come and buy it. That will never happen because there's more problems with the vehicle and they're trying to hide it. Period, exclamation mark. Good tip. Remember that. All right? If you're going to flip the vehicles, well, then you better have your code scanner with you and find out what's going on inside. And you better have some experience with those vehicles. And you can go right on NHTSA for all the recalls. You can go on Google what are the common problems when this happens. It's all there. Once again, you'll be able to figure it out. Now, once I got it back, one of the things that I noticed right away is that somebody put a 4-inch lift kit on it and completely messed that up. It was done wrong. They left the blocks in the back. I mean, it looked like one of those old hot rods from the 70s going down the road with the nose on the ground and the ass end way up in the air. So, classic example of dealing with idiots that should never touch a wrench. First thing I do is I just bypass the computer, I bypass the module in the back, and I actually just jump the fuel pump. Positive to positive, negative to negative. I pull off the plug off the module, and fuel pump runs just fine. Truck starts right up. So it's running, she gets oil through it, and you can hear a definite clicking on the right bank one, which is that side of the cylinders of the engines. When you're sitting in a vehicle, you have left side, right side, bank one, bank two, okay? So You got a lot of clicking over there. That usually means that on this particular truck that there's a cam problem or some type of lifter issue, lifter followers. There's a problem over there. Nothing I haven't dealt with before, all right? Common, typical problem with the 5.4. Deal with these issues all the time. So the beauty of it is that it's got a King Ranch interior in it, and it's actually in really good shape in the interior. The first owner who had the truck, and I found that out by running the report, very important once again, if you're going to be buying or flipping vehicles, whichever the case may be, find out the background. Those couple extra bucks, even if you have to do it on a few cars before you land on the one that you want, it's worthwhile finding out what the background is. Most everything is documented. The first owner bought it brand new, of course, and traded it off in 2020. And then it went to auction, sat at a dealer for a while, and then a different gentleman bought it. And then as of 2023, then it started flipping through people all the time. Now, once again, one of the important things that you need to look at when you're looking at a vehicle is in the engine compartment. And especially for vehicles that are known to have engine problems, which this is the one right here. And what did we find? Boom! Boom! Boom, boom! There she is, the replacement engine. And it's a 2006 5.4, production date in December. This is a 05. Got a different engine in it already, and it came from a salvage yard. The second thing is that the engine was sitting kittywampus. So the engine came out of a Ford Explorer. You know how I know that? Because the engine mount is different in a Ford Expedition, I should say, than an F-150. These are the little things you got to catch up. You got to look everything over when you're buying a vehicle, whether you're buying it for yourself or you're going to flip it. Every little thing tells you the telltale sign of issues. So I ordered myself up a fuel modulator, I install that, and we start learning why this has been through so many owners. And the dummies left the receipts from the mechanics sitting in the glove box. This went through several mechanics, and I have to say probably piss poor mechanics, because nobody figured the problem out and it wasn't that difficult. We'll get there. So I put it in the modulator, and I put the modulator back up into place, go start the engine, and engine no start. I go back, pull the modulator back out, and you can actually hear it click inside. I just leave it sit there and hang, and I go start. Engine starts right on up. All right, so we've got an electrical issue, which I kind of suspected to begin with. But so I ordered a new harness, soldered in a brand new harness, and relocated that modulator because it's in such a stupid place. Manufacturers, I swear, go out of their way to make sure that everything fails just as you get out of the warranty area. Warranty period's done, they don't want that vehicle to work anymore. This shit started in the year 2000, and they've slowly been working on it, and they've slowly been making sure that nothing can make 200,000 miles anymore without having major issues. Isn't that great? And they want, $80, $90, $100,000 for, SUVs and pickups, and stupid money for all kinds of vehicles nowadays that they themselves are even incapable of fixing. So we got that part of it figured out, but every time I pulled codes on it, I'd wipe them, pull new codes. I'd have so many unbelievable codes. Never seen anything like that before. Nah, electrical problem. One of the mechanics had written on there, well, it needs a new PCM. Well, no, it didn't need a new PCM. We have a shorting issue. You got to find the shorting issue. So nothing worked in the rear end. And what had happened? Somebody along the line took the old box off and put a different box on it. Well, I started to follow the wires up. They lead out through the PCM, they cross over the top, and of course whoever switched the engine out didn't hook anything back where it was supposed to be. So the main engine wiring harness was sitting close to the exhaust, and that was crispy fried. The main wiring harness that went down to the transmission wasn't hooked back up the way it should be, and those wires had kinks in them, but they were still okay. They all had continuity. So we're still following the last PCM wire, which leads down, goes all the way down the frame on the outside, and oh, here's a beauty for you. As you were driving the vehicle, if you took a hard right turn, well, bank one would stop running completely. Electrical issue. So followed all the way down the frame to the wires to the back. Now none of the backup sensors once again were working. You know, I know I've said it before, but just relax. It's part of the story. So I ordered up some brand new sensors, put them in, and lo and behold, we have a short fault on the rear far right backup sensor. Boom! Found it! So the plug that plugged into that far right sensor, because somebody installed the box and of course disconnected the wires and didn't put them back on the way they should be, set the box on the loom for the wires. Some people just should not be working on vehicles. Ugh. So, after I got the new plug, got the wiring situation figured out, put in the sensor, I have got rear Doppler now. Jump in there, take it for a ride. Holy man! She ran perfect. It drove perfect. I mean, it had nuts beyond what any squirrel would ever dream of while they're hungered away in winter. She really just, all because of that. All these owners. So, how can you wrap something like this up? All right. Well, it's a horror story for sure. If you don't know nothing about vehicles or you have limited understanding of vehicles, you would have ended up, first off, overpaying for something that clearly was a basket case and has a lot of problems. Well, had a lot of problems. And there you would have sat. You bought it as is. Doesn't make a difference if you're looking at whatever name brand. You got to make sure that you do your due diligence. Everything you need to know is on the computer. You just got to Google it. When you're looking at these vehicles, whether you're flipping or you're buying for yourself, it's your money. You don't need to be in any hurry. Meet the people at their house. If they don't want to meet at their house, then that is not the car you need to look at. There could be shenanigans, and more than likely shenanigans going on. Next, look under the car. Look at the brakes. Look at the tires. Look in the trunk. Look at all the doors. Is everything aligned? Is there paint that is different? Is there mask marks from paint? Is there DA, that's a sander, where they spin and they kind of go back and forth at the same time? You'll see that in piss poor paint jobs. Get up there, get a look at her. Do you see anything like that in the paint? Check that engine bay out. Is everything there? Pull out all them dipsticks. Is the oil low? Run! Get out of there. The idiots didn't even have enough motivation to put oil in it to sell the vehicle. And it's low on oil. Blow the cross hatches on the dipsticks. It's not the car for you. Get out of there. Make sure that when you pull out the dipstick, if it is full, make sure it's not dark on the bottom and light on the top, or they just topped it off before you got there. Old oil, new oil that was topped off. Big trick that people, have pulled over their eyes. You gotta make sure you do your due diligence so you don't end up with a basket case. I buy them cheap enough. Once again, what do we always say? You gotta steal them. People are not jumping every second of the day to go rush out and get a car because they don't have money. They need to get a loan. That is the only way most cars are sold. If somebody says to you, look, if you don't put a deposit down, if you don't Venmo me right now, if you don't send me something quick cash or send me some type of card, some kind of gift card, run! It's a ripoff. Anybody who wants cash in advance through a Venmo, through a gift card, through any other fast cash app, do not do it. If somebody else is coming to buy it, you go meet that person and give them cash. Period. Cash in hand, title, car, keys. If they're that demanding that they have to have a deposit, 99% of the time, there is shenanigans, all right? So I hope you've learned something today from the Flipper Guy, and we'll see you in the next video. Could be one of 4 different videos. We keep it lively around here. You're still here yet? It's over. Oh, I know. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, the little bell, the little bell, and that'll tell you every time I post a new video. Also go root around in my previous videos and you'll find a lot of interesting content. Until then, go home. Oh yeah, the garbage can's over there. Don't be making a mess. Clean up after yourself. Go. Listen closely for an instruction.